Entrepreneurs is brought to you by Telkom.
As a teenager, Jacques Duyver daydreamed about owning his own business. He entered the business world as a young salesperson in the office automation industry.
I can say almost natural in it. I just did very well. With my first year with the largest office automation company, they gave me Salesman of the Year at the end of the year. I think I was 15 months with this company, and then I just jumped into my own business. I must say, I didn't give it a lot of thought. A lot of thought went into it once I was in my business, because then a lot of lessons had to be learned.
iTech got off the ground in 1992, and Jacques was determined to make a go of it in a very mature office automation industry. His weapon was not to copy other companies, but to innovate and to maximize his sales skills.
Yeah, I started the company, basically didn't have any resources. I went to an importer of office automation products, and I asked them, and I must have gone and seen the MD 3 times, must have made 100 phone calls, because I was this young guy who didn't have any financial resources, but and the only thing that I had was I was salesman of the year at this previous company.
But Konica, who he had been dealing with, bought into his enthusiasm, and they gave him 30,000 Rand credit to start a dealership.
I remember having one desk and a switchboard, and so people ask, why do you have a switchboard? The reason for that is when somebody phoned, I used to say, well, please hold on for consumables, and sort of change the voice a bit to appear a bit bigger, and then take their consumables order.
Jacques' vision took off very quickly, and before he knew it, he was no longer a one-man operation. Yet he had to find the right staff if he was going to make it in a highly competitive industry.
The hardest part I found in the business was people at the end of the day. I think the success of our business is based on people, and I learned very quickly that you needed the right people and good people. And when you've got that, then life's a lot easier. But finding those people is what I find one of the hardest things I had to learn in business.
As the business grew, he decided to take on another challenge. The company moved from being a dealership to an importer. As an importer, the company continued to expand. Just over a decade later, it has a network of 65 dealers in the country, 700 employees, and a turnover of more than $500 million.
I think I'm become very good at delegating, but my style there is once I trust a person, I leave them completely on their own, and then I sort of say, well, if you've got anything or any guidance you need, come to me. But I'm very sort of hands-on with a person until I get that trust, a little bit all over them until I establish that trust.
As a young entrepreneur, Jacques realized that he needed a solid management structure. He brought Harry Root on board and gained from Root's knowledge and experience.
I say he's been not only a mentor for me in the business side of the business, but also in my personal life.
I believe that there are more than sufficient mentors available. What is needed is an openness from the people, the budding entrepreneurs, of coming forward and looking somebody in the eye and say, listen, I need help.
And this is exactly what Jacques did. He sought advice to build his company.
Jacques' absolute determination that he was going to make a success out of this, and the sincerity which he brought to bear in the relationship, and the absolute trust which he placed in my trust of him, I think is what really at the end of the day made me decide to get on board. And it's been at times wild, but it's always been fun.
Jacques admits that one of his weaknesses is impatience. It is the third member of his team who has helped him to drive the company forward patiently.
Although I started the business and was 100% shareholder of the business, there was one guy by the name of Philip Perkins who has been with me since almost the beginning and has consequently become a shareholder. I'm more of the risk taker. I love the ideas and putting a lot of ideas on the table, but I'm not the most patient guy to see those ideas through. He's the guy who completes the projects and is the chief operational officer in the business.
The business was ticking over, but the team realized that the growth of the business was pegged on building a formidable local brand.
The big vision or passion, and I hope we're able to do it one day because it's certainly a huge task, is I would like to produce in our industry an international brand name out of South Africa, which I don't think has ever been done. We've also spoken to our principals overseas because what many people do to get in, you don't have to manufacture a product to put your brand on it necessarily, especially in our industry. You can OEM product, which means original equipment manufacturer, and as long as your quantities are high and you need high quantities, the original equipment manufacturer will put your brand on it.
Building their own brand was vital because they did not just want to sell products, but to create a unique service style.
We were obviously a bit apprehensive. Everybody knew us as Konica, now Konica Minolta, and we cannot believe the amount of enthusiasm our staff and our customers have with this new brand name. And yeah, all that apprehension is gone, and it's another step in the company's history.
To create their unique brand, they chose a color that was very different to the standard blue and red of their competitors. They picked orange to represent the company.
It's energy, enthusiasm, and new. Our industry, copiers, faxes, and printers, it's not your cell industry where something trendy or gadgety comes out every day. But I think unlike any industry that I know, we've got a lot of young people, and it's an industry where people can do very well in financially. The commission structures are very good, and we find that we attract very good sales, young, vibey people.
The company has already made some headway in becoming an international brand. Their network has branches in several SADC countries.
Yes, the market there is not that big, but I think some Japanese guy taught me something one day, that they were in much smaller countries, and I said, well, why are you there? You hardly do any business. And they said, well, all businesses we've seen over the years, or countries shall I say, we've seen over the years change, and we want to be there when things change.
The company may have wide reach, but Jacques' own personal philosophy is to keep his focus very specific.
I believe that's one part of our success also, is that when one focuses, and I like to tell that to many young entrepreneurs, because I see many young entrepreneurs in South Africa today. They a little bit in this business, a little bit in that business. Now, I'm not saying it can't work for you. I think there's certain personalities it can work for, but my advice is generally stick to one thing at a time and do it well and do it properly.
The Entrepreneurs is brought to you by Telkom.